Okay, I'll go over this. So I'm gonna turn the music off. I'll also upload this to YouTube because I feel like it's kind of interesting because not many people have talked about mathematical based rankings. So my initial impression of mathematical rankings is that they're really bad. Not that they're bad for like a baseline, but they're terrible because if based off of what I know from like Elo and Glico, they're really bad for double elimination because you can just go to losers, win like 20 sets instead of 10, and do way better by losing your round one and then winning the rest of your sets than if you just won a tournament through winners, which conventionally should be better. I'll post a link in the chat. So I don't like. That's one of many reasons I don't like mathematical based rankings, outside of not including context, which the obvious issues of data entry, things like was this person going secondaries? Is this a bar tournament? How do you count that? Weighing like how important a tournament is. I think a mix between mathematics and a panel is usually in some way the best way to go, but I don't think you should rely exclusively on one or the other. I do like mathematical based rankings for finding people that secretly had really good years that a lot of people may not have talked about. Like I think I saw 100 grand on here. Guarantee you nobody knows who this guy is, but I think he's actually like really good. I played him, I was impressed. He's taken Ginger to game 5 and like 1-0 Forest, 1-0 Panda, like a lot of like good wins here. So for people like this, I think it's really important to have these types of lists as a reference. But generally speaking, I think there shouldn't be a total reliance on them or even like majority reliance on them. Someone like Polish too, who's a little more known, but maybe people don't know how good he is. It's also good for people like that. He's one on KGH, which is actually kind of crazy. But yeah, so this was made by a guy. The link will be both in the comment or in the description for YouTube, and then I posted it in chat. First glance, the top 20, not bad. I do agree that Mutaking should be heavily punished for inactivity. Either that or just not ranked. I think having him any higher than this would be, or having him significantly higher would be pretty criminal. Nothing too outrageous besides this. This is outrageous. I don't know. Not that I don't think Ice is really good. His best win is Professor Pro. I don't know how that gets you in the top 20. At least for me personally, that cannot get you in the top 20. If your best win is Professor Pro. I would like to know how this happened. I'd probably put Ice somewhere around 40. This is definitely the biggest one that jumps out to me. I think Moki's placing is a little surprising to me. I do not think Mutaking should be ranked right now, no. I do not. As of now, I would abstain from ranking him on the ballot, as well as a few other people like Bananas, Duck, Lod. I'm not going to be ranking them. Santi. I'm not going to be ranking them. Definitely the only outrageous thing, a lot of 13 is also a little weird, but based on like the math, I can see how he'd be ranked this high. It's not like, oh my god, I can't understand how this would happen. But again, I don't think anyone's putting a lot at 13th. I don't think he would put himself at 13th. Skill-wise, I'd probably put him around this range. I think he's really good, but I don't think that he's top 15. Other than that, I am confused how Amsa got dropped at 12th. I know the losses to Shippu and Sane hurt, but I'm pretty sure he's also beaten Shippu and Sane. The one thing I don't like about having a tournament requirement is, like, let's say these guys played at, like, 10 tournaments. Amsa won every single one, and then just happened to have one bad tournament that was at, like, 33 people, which meets the 32 people criteria for the ranking. He gets dropped 4 ranks because of that, when in reality he's, like, maybe, like, 5-1 against both of them, which should not be anywhere near as, which is like nowhere near as bad. I had Amsa actually over Plup in my rankings. I can see him being below Plup. I could maybe see him being below me, although don't think I would put him there. But I think this is definitely a little too low. Yeah, Triff, I'm kind of surprised you were this high. I think this is, I'm assuming, a secondary, so it doesn't matter. I know this was legit. I know that was legit. I don't know about the over loss. I think the mint loss was not legit. I think the frenzy loss was not legit. Having said that, little surprised you were this high on the ranking, like a 10. Just because of your recent performances, I'd probably have you down here with these guys. Like in this tier. It was second days, yeah, that's what I figured. I'd probably have you around here just because of Falcon existing. The fact that Falcon exists kind of sucks for both of us. But I don't think it's outrageous. Definitely a little high, but I don't think it's super outrageous. This is fine. This is fine. I'm definitely surprised Moki's is slow. Based off of like how it feels like they value wins and losses. But I guess because I think Chu and Ginger and None are all better, but because they're lower here, I could see why it would punish him that much for the losses. This seems to really punish people for losses, like really punish people for losses. My losses aren't punished that much because I have so few of them. I feel like if you only have a few losses, it doesn't matter that much. But this very much favors people who are like consistent, it feels like. Like, Mango's really low because he's 0-1 Magi, 0-1 Army, 0-1 Spark, 0-1 Lucky, 0-1 None. Even though Zane is, like, way worse at the top, because he has literally no bad records. Like, his worst loss in this list is Triff. He's higher. Wizzy is a little more consistent, but 3-2 in HBox and 2-0 in Leffen, and up in the head-to-head. All really good, so. But they're still, like, really close, and Wizzy has way more uncertainty. This basically should be like a tie in my eyes. Like, these three are virtually tied. And then Mango's like a clear tier below, so I guess it actually is surprising about the losses because Pudgy Panda... I guess Pudgy Panda's only like a really bad loss. How did it get here? Up on Left and up on Wizzy. 5-0 Insane. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to get a better understanding of how these rankings work. Where's None? Pretty low, actually. You're going to rank Zane too. I think I had Zane at 4. I would definitely put Leffen over him. And I had Mango over him, I think. Although I can see putting Zane over Mango. But I don't think I will. I think Leffen for sure should be over Zane this year. Like, that's really good. That's good. That's fine. So that's like the only bad thing. It's that and then these two. Yeah, I don't normally care about winning majors, but it does feel weird to have the number 2 person not win a single major. I do kind of agree there. I think once you get to the top, winning majors is a really valuable skill you can't just overlook. But again, I'm not going to put on... There's no universe I put Zane lower than 4. There's no universe I do it. I could see putting him at 3. And when I revisit it, I might put him at 3. Because, like... He only has 4 losing records, period. And two of them are by one set. Oh, 5 losing records. It does help Mango that he's up on, like, everyone beside... Up or even on everyone in the top 10 besides HBox and AMSA. That is really good. But the bad losses are also really bad. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Plup is right where I expect him to be. Also, mathematically, it's exactly what you'd expect. No really bad losses. Fox problem, but that's about it. Swedish loss should not count. That's Samus. Axe loss, one of them should not count because it's also Samus. I'm right. If you put AMSA that low, I'm right where I'd expect to be. Again, just a little high. LOD, I can see why. This thing doesn't penalize inactivity at all. I've noticed that. Like, all you have to do is scroll down to number 25. And you'll see that it doesn't penalize inactivity in the slightest. No offense to Solo Battle. Sure, he's great. He literally only went to a tournament this past weekend. I think it was Dream. What was the tournament where he beat everyone? I don't remember what the tournament was. This past weekend. Syndicate. It's literally the only thing he went to. No. But not top 100? I could see... Looks like I could see a Puff doing well enough to get the top 100. Having said that, this is like very misleading to me because even the volatility is plus 128.34. So you assume that let's just round it to 130, make it even. So let's say the low end for his range is 625. Okay, you go down to 625. There's no chance that the guy's floor is Nintendo'd. There is no chance that this guy's floor is Nintendo'd. I guarantee there are people below that who've had better tournaments. I know Billy's had better tournaments. There's just no way. There's no way. So, hard disagree with that. I do think that this thing has to really account for activity, and I think you should punish an activity. If you have high variance, you should be down. I don't think it's safe to assume, like, the mathematical average, at least in terms of melee rankings. I think that's way too important. Because a lot of times, if you attend more, you actually can perform worse if people start studying you. Granted, the opposite's also true for a lot of people, but I just don't like not being punished at all for an activity. But I see like what it's doing. Also, Santi at 21. I mean, I don't need to go over this. He has one win at someone above him. He has no losses, but it's just, again, only plus 33 volt, plus minus 33 volatility. RBB Crotto projected to be on it. They'll probably be low end. Crotto might not because he has less exposure for the actual list. This is kind of ridiculous to me. And again, this isn't meant to shit on the guy at all. Like, I actually really respect someone trying to do this. This is to give my opinion and why I'm just trying to offer like constructive criticism for changes that, if you're going to do this, at least even as a baseline, that I think it needs to be made. Definitely punishes heavy losses really badly. Yeah, like, it has the 0-1 with Shippo and Sane, which I think really destroy him. Because outside of that, his worst loss is Spark, which is not bad. Like, I have a loss to Yort and Hugs. Also, it counts it doesn't count like all the wins that he probably has over them. So, shouldn't be this high, shouldn't be this high. Stango this high is very interesting. 0-2 with Leighton. I guess he doesn't have too many losses below him. I can see mathematically how he might be this high. Realistically, I'd put him around 30. I think Stango is really good, so this isn't as outrageous as it might be. Sechi being at 26. I don't know Sechi's match spread. I'm not going to pretend to. I will say, this is actually pretty impressive overall. Professor Pro, I know, is just really good versus Fox. Overall, it's actually a really impressive spread. Sechi wasn't even like on my radar really for top 50, but after looking at this, I would probably put him in I could see putting him in the 40s, quite honestly. This is really, really impressive to me. This is really, really impressive to me. I get to see Sechi being in the top 50. None. I don't know how he's this low. Like, a lot of these losses, I guess it really hurts you if you have a lot of losses in a skill tier that's below you. That's what it looks like, because he has a lot of losses here. But having said that, he's like 1-0 on me, he's 1-0 on Mango, he has a win on Wizzy, he's 2-1 on Johnny. I feel like that has to be weighed like heavily. I don't know how it works in like other ranking systems, but I feel like, at least in Melee, the ability to beat the top players in terms of getting far in a bracket is extremely important. Like, you have to be able to beat the top players. There's no way that you can't have it. Like, you can't be able to beat them. So it's like, I look at like Sechi, who is really well over Striff, but like Solo Battle, Stango, Absent Page, Face Roll as the Axe win, and 2 SJ wins. So like Pew Pew, and it's like, I can't put him below these guys. Like, there's too much, there's too high of a chance that Nump would just get like 3rd at a national. And he hasn't had horrible losses, which he's been prone to in the past. And now that Wobbling expanded, it's not that bad. Any other allies I want to talk to? Ginger and Chu, I'm a little surprised. Actually, Chu has a lot more losses than I thought, because of the list not extending to top 50, past top 50 that I usually use. But not as many as I think are warranted to put him this low. Because like, he still has a win on SFAD, 2 on Swedish, 1-0 on Fiction, 1-0 on Moki, a win on Pew Pew. That's a good spread. And 1-0 on X. So, I don't know. I feel like Ginger's a little... I feel like there's no universe right now that I would put Ginger and Shu below Hacks. Like, I just don't see that universe. Not right now. Not right now. I don't see that universe. I think Ginger and Shu have proven themselves versus the top too many times. And granted, Hacks hasn't had as many opportunities, but... like, it's telling. This is telling. Now, there were other examples of people who got extremely overlooked. How is this? Okay, I'm sure Six is sick. How is he in the top 50? I need to, like, I want this guy to watch the video and kind of tell me, like, what mathematically caused these people to be here. I have no idea how Six got into the top 50. I think it's pretty clear that that's not the case. And his best win is Nikki. Nikki's sick. I love Nikki. I really do. But how is Dady in the top 50? Prishant, I wouldn't put in the top 50 yet. I think he's really good, but I definitely wouldn't put in the top 50 yet. But this isn't as outrageous as some people might think. It seems like if you exist in like a smaller bubble, then Europeans get like actually inflated on this. I think Prishant's around Zamo. I agree, 100%. I would say Prishant and Zamo are like very comparable. Momo is someone who's probably way better than people think. He doesn't have the results this year. I'm a little surprised this has him in the top 50, but I think skill-wise, Momo could definitely be top 50. Momo's fucking crazy, actually. But again, like, I don't know how he got put in the top 50 from this. It just doesn't make sense to me. Amsa has, like, no tournaments. And his only wins are Professor Pro. And it's not like he doesn't have some bad losses. Granted, he's pretty consistent, actually. But still. I just feel like you need to do more. Army has so many losses. Yeah, it definitely penalizes losses. Like, look how many losses Army has, and look how low he is. Even though he has an Axe win, a Mango win, 2 SFAT wins, even with face roll up on all these people. So it definitely punishes losses super hard. Same with Westfalls. Like, dang, he has a lot of losses. Holy shit. He has a lot of tournaments. But yeah, 11 and 10 with Nut. That's actually so many sets. Jacob Shaken, I'd expect him to be around here. He did have a kind of lackluster second half, but I still expect him to be top 50. Very surprised at this, actually. I guess he kind of struggled in the second half, so maybe it's not that surprising. I would still have him around 30. I'll still have him around 30. Bananas being this slow, again, punishes like almost 4 with SDJ, Bobby Frizz, Squid, the Swooper, Free Palestine, punishing losses. Frenzy being top 50. Triff, what do you feel about Frenzy being top 50? What do you think about Frenzy? I don't know how, like, I feel like Frenzy's like 80, 90. Yeah, Frenzy's around 90. I feel like Frenzy's definitely around 80 or 90. Top 100 material. Again, like, he just has a bunch of losses. This win doesn't count. Another problem with mathematical-based rankings is lack of knowledge. This went on Trift is with a secondary. And so we got here by being 5 and 10 with Sechi, which is already a sus, like, ranking. So another problem with these, which is why you shouldn't use them to just blindly make a list, is that I think almost everyone universally would agree Sechi is not 26. Sechi's probably around top 50. And Professor Pro is probably not 28, although I think he is really good. But he's 4 and 22 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So he's basically here off of a win that doesn't count and getting 5 wins off someone who should be ranked around where this actually is. And then there were some people that I saw down here. Forrest is so good. Forrest is actually so good. Spud being this slow is a little surprising also. Again, these are at the Mango. I don't know why these are counted. Owl and Meds. Hard when it's one person, granted, but this is just feedback for him. Kim Maples, yes. Locks, yeah. I would put them around here. Go down to go down. I already mentioned 100 grand. There were a few things I wanted to mention. So someone like this. Variance is like kind of high, but like, how? This guy's around Smash Daddy, Plat, Tiramisu, Animus, Rockies, Captain Smuckers. With this? What? It's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird. And then another one. Who did I say? I had someone I wanted to look at because they got like severely overlooked. Do you guys remember who it was? Commaster is this low? How? How is Commaster this low? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Heartstrings was super low. Are you on this list? I'll check after. Heartstrings was super low, but... Oh, I misspelled that, sorry. But that's not the thing I was thinking about. It's 603, which is just not true. I'll check in a second, Dom. I think it was someone around the 300 range. Someone I saw that I like. Wrong Slox. Snowy. So it's like, obviously he has a lot of bad losses. If you have these 3 wins, you're just not this low. I think that high wins, yeah, it was sucked. It was Duck. Even if you have bad losses, which I don't know how many of these were legit, if you have these wins, you're not this low. You're not this low. There's just no way. Like, you look at the people around him. This guy's an army win. What the fuck? Like, look at these results. Look at these results. This guy's best win is Anvil. This guy's best win is Dom. Dom, you're 193. This guy's a win on Frenzy is cool, but then he has nothing to low, really. This guy literally doesn't have a win. Doesn't have a win. Doesn't have a win. Best win is Aura. Homemade Waffles is this low? Whatever. Sure, but again, the point stands that if you can beat that many, if you've proven that you can beat that many good players, you shouldn't be, like, look at the results of the people around here. No matter how many bad losses you have, these people have maybe at best an Ice Climbers win. That's it. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with these lists. Now, having said that, again, I'll reiterate this. I am appreciative that this guy is, like, taking a stance and trying to, or not taking a stance, like, trying to do something. Even though there's been a lot of documentation on why it's not consistent, I do appreciate the effort, and I think that there is a spot for these lists, mainly to be used as guidelines and to make sure you're not overlooking anyone. So again, someone like 100 grand. But at the same time, I hope that, like, picking out these people shows why I think it's a really bad idea to just take these lists and use it as is. New York used to use GAR PR as their PR, and I can tell you from experience, there was like a season where maybe it was over me because my LOD win didn't count because to the list, it counted LOD as an out-of-region player, so he had no ranking, and then it counted a win that he had on Slox when Slox was sandbagging. So, mathematical rankings, really, really good, but again, they can only do as much as you put in, and it's almost impossible to, like, account for everything. And so that's why I think it's important to have input from a lot of people. Make sure you have a bunch of people double checking it so there are no errors, and then still have, like, a panel to discuss the rankings anyways. I feel very passionate about that. Casper this low. Maybe. I don't know Casper's results too well. But yeah, so overall, I think it's actually pretty cool. Definitely interested to see what he does with it if he watches this. But that's my general opinion.